So the group existed before I became involved in it. There were a couple guys that were already robbing banks, and I didn't know who these guys were. I was kind of introduced to them, and yeah, so I was the first time I met them. I was blindfolded and brought to a place, a hotel. So I didn't know, where it was or where I was. Was introduced to them and agreed to join this robbery crew, for lack of a better term. I mean, certainly for a young man, pretty exciting. And we agreed to, start robbing banks together. And eventually, as time went on, I went to our first robbery that I was involved in, and I was taken to a safe house that was rented under false names somewhere in the middle of the country. Blindfolded when I was brought there as well, so I wouldn't know where it was, just in case, I wasn't trusted yet. I hadn't actually committed a robbery yet. And then from the safe house, we drove far to an area where we decided we were going to rob the bank. And we had a system. Some of it was actually written out. There was an acronym called BART in this little pamphlet that we had that one of the older members of the group made, and that stood for Basic Armed Robbery Techniques. And it was how to buy a car with the fake ID. So it was kind of started with fake driver's licenses, fake social security cards. There's a whole way that we did that to create false identities. And we would purchase what we referred to as a drop car, which was left at the scene. And the way that we did things was we tried to cause a problem for the responding officers to the robbery. And we did that through essentially fake bombs. So we would leave those in the drop car that we left, and we would sometimes leave that on scene inside the bank. So we would spend usually a week or so in the area where we were robbing the bank. We would watch the bank. We would spend time looking around the area. We would make sure we knew where the police station was, how far away it was. Back then, you could listen to police communication with scanners. So we would listen to police communication. We would make sure that we had a pretty good handle on the communication systems that were being used in that area by law enforcement. And we would decide when we were going to do the robbery. We would have everything in place. And then we would drive the drop car, the one that we would leave on the scene, to the bank. And we would walk through the front door, usually late morning, and we would rob the bank. The device that we would sometimes leave inside the bank was inert. However, we knew that a bomb detection crew would have a way, like a nitrogen detector, to tell if there was explosive in it or not. So we would put a little bit of gunpowder or something like that in the device to make them think it was a real device. And we would also leave the device in the drop car. So we would leave the bank in the drop car. We would switch into our actual vehicle and take off. And we would hope that the devices that we left would cause havoc, which it generally did, for law enforcement, and we would make our escape.